Hey everyone, welcome to the Latin Excellence in Iowa series. Today you're going to find me with Alejandra Flores. Some of you might know her. She works here at Western Iowa Tech Community College with Trio. She's part of the fam. She's the educational coordinator for student support services. So, as you all may remember, it's the college version of Upward Bound. They help you basically be successful at the college level and even transfer to other colleges and universities if that's if that's one of your goals. So, thank you for being here with me today, Alejandra. So, I guess to start off, where is your heritage from? When did your family get here to Iowa?
So thank you again for having me on.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to share my experience with all you Upward Bound students. A little bit about my history is I was born in Mexico and I've been in Iowa since I was about 2 years old. So don't really remember that much of Mexico because I haven't been back there in a long time. Um, but I've been in Sioux City, Iowa since I was 2 years old. So when I was growing up, was really I was really getting used to like being here, like learning the language, just getting more adjusted to like being a part of two different cultures, like adjusting to the culture here in Iowa, but then also trying to not lose sight of my roots. And then when I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to pursue higher education. At the time, unfortunately, I was undocumented and was not able to pursue higher education. Luckily, at my senior year of high school, I was able to obtain a worker's permit and then be able to attend school.
Uh-huh.
So I was able to apply to the University of Iowa, and I was able to get a scholarship to attend there. And I was given the privilege of being able to attend a large university.
That's really awesome. I think what's really great about that is that you found a way and you persevered and you finally were able to meet your goal. When we say higher education, that means college and university, right? So you went to the University of Iowa. What did you study and how did you get there?
Well, so originally I wanted to be a doctor. I was set on being a doctor. I was going to be the first in my family to graduate, be a doctor, because that was kind of like a set expectation. You have to go to college and make a lot of money. You're either going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a nurse. So I tried the doctor thing, didn't like biology. Then I was like, I'll switch to nursing, switch my major to nursing, and I realized I'm scared of blood. So I get like all queasy with blood, just not my thing. So I realized the medical field probably wasn't going to cut it for me. There was no way that I was going to go to school for a long period of time to do something that I was going to hate to do every single day. So although it was the career that I envisioned going into school, it was definitely not what I ended up deciding on. So I had a trio advisor at the University of Iowa. This trio advisor was what really kept me motivated in school. She was like my support system, my home away from home. I didn't have any of my family close by, so it was 5 hours away from Sioux City, which is my hometown. So it was quite a culture shock being there. So I felt like I needed an extra support system. So my trio advisor was the one that would check in on me, make sure I was doing okay, even if it was just a venting session to tell her how I felt like I wasn't fit to be at school. She was just my support system. She would just help me navigate any things that I was feeling or even just validate them. So what I did was when I was deciding on what to change my major, I realized that I loved what she did. I was like, wow, you get paid to just listen to me talk? Like this is
Right,
great. Like
right.
I'm like I love talking to people and I love listening to people.
Yeah.
So I thought like my dream job was to have her job. So I told her that and she encouraged me to do my undergraduate studies in psychology or sociology so then I could apply to a master's program and I was like, "Oh, great, more school." But I realized I was gonna have to do it at one point or another. So I was like, okay, might as well just start looking into master's programs. So I was like, great, more school. Well, I knew I was gonna have to do it anyways at one point or another. So I started looking into master's programs. And this was when I switched from pre-med my freshman year. Then my sophomore year, I switched to nursing. My second year, they were like, "All right, you're gonna have to make a decision on like what you want to do." So that's when I was like, "Okay, I'll switch to psychology, and then I'll start looking into master's programs and what the requirements are." So I found three different master's programs that I was considering. My trio advisor was suggesting that I look into the master program she went through, which was the University of Northern Iowa. So I considered it for a little bit, and then she reached out to one of her mentors and sent me like the application, wanted to meet with me to kind of like talk about the program with me. So it was really nice to just use that connection that she had at one institution to just get more information about it. I also applied to two other institutions, and I got accepted to all three institutions, so I was really thrilled about it. And then I ended up having going on like their interview days, because you have to do an interview process to be able to get an assistantship, which is when you work while you're in graduate school. So when I did that, I went to interview days for two institutions, and I received offers from both institutions, but I had to decide what would be a more financially beneficial decision for me. So I ended up deciding to go with Iowa State University, because their financial aid package that they were offering me was a lot more beneficial than the University of Nebraska Lincoln.
Oh, cool. So what I'm hearing is that basically you had an entire trial and error in
Hmm.
college, which is good. I think that's kind of like the best way to experience college in general. When you kind of say, okay, I want to do this, and this has always been my dream, but I don't think it's for me. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's good to watch 12 seasons of Grey's Anatomy about, but like it's not gonna be my path. But you really enjoyed kind of what you got in high school,
Hmm.
that guidance, that support, and
Yep.
especially you got a mentor from Trio Student Support Services,
Hmm.
right, at the University of
Yep.
Iowa to give you connections to make a goal for graduate school. So
Hmm.
you studied psychology, and your end goal was going to graduate school, which I think
Hmm.
that's a really great shift. What you'll see in all of these stories is that students really look and really research their passions and their interests. And you go through all these different classes and all these different majors, and I think that's why universities set up that component where you have to do your electives. They
Hmm.
make sure to build in electives into your degree because they want you to explore and they want you to have that flexibility um, to see that
True.
maybe the medical profession isn't for you and psychology is, and maybe being more of a guidance for students. Like,
And a lot of classes that you take your first 2 years at a university or at a community college, you are going to have to take like general education courses regardless of what degree you're doing, where you're going. You're going to need a math, a science, composition 1, composition 2, public speaking. Those are core classes that you're going to need regardless of where you go to. So if even if you're in high school, if you want to get some of those out of the way with, that's really a good place to start, because then you wouldn't have to take them once you get to college. But that's your also your opportunity. It's kind of like to give you more time to make those like bigger decisions, but don't ever feel like you have to stay with a major if
oh
you're
yeah,
not liking the classes that you're taking. If you find out you were going to do nursing and you don't like blood, don't keep pursuing those classes, because you're setting yourself up for an unhappy career.
yeah,
So the biggest thing to always think about when you're thinking career decision is, I'm going to work somewhere where I am going to be happy and fulfilled every day. Like I am going to have motivation to get up in the morning and go do my job. Because if you are dreading it, then it just becomes a job. It's not a career.
exactly, exactly. And I feel like if you're passionate about it, go for it. And at the end of the day, your major isn't going to define you. There's so much that you can expand your major to be after college. So putting that additional pressure on a major is just unnecessary. You can do so much with it.
Like with your bachelor's degree, like there's so many different things. If you I have friends that have graduated with health and human physiology and are now doing social work. Just people that graduate with one thing and they're doing human resources later. Just there's the getting your bachelor's degree is more about building up your work experiences. It's about building up your those key skills that you're developing through your leadership roles in college, the key things that you're learning, how to like work in a team setting, how to communicate effectively, just those key things that are just going to set you up for success once you're employed by a company.
What does success mean to you, or what does it look like?
I have two things. So, paving the way for those that will come after me, and lifting as I climb.
I like that.
So, lifting as I climb is something that my mentor at Iowa State, my supervisor and mentor, she would always say, and that's what the philosophy that we used for our MVP students, the multicultural vision program that we had at Iowa State.
Hmm.
Um, that just like as you're excelling through life, don't forget to, just like other people are investing in you, don't forget to turn back and like lend a hand to those that are like in the shoes that you were at,
Yeah.
like not that long ago.
And I love that both of those go very hand in hand. It's like you're
Hmm.
paving the way, right?
Hmm.
and you're also lifting as you climb. I don't know. I think that's really beautiful, and I think it is successful because it is a very collaborative effort, right?
Hmm.
Um, and mentorship goes when you're the mentee, but also
Hmm.
you should be the mentor on the other side as well.
And it's something that you're always looking for. Like currently, I think for myself, like mentorship is still important. Like there's people that are in
Yeah.
a lot higher of positions that I look up to and admire, and I'm just like, please take me under your wing so I can like learn from you. Because I still feel that at whatever age and whatever position you are in life, mentorship is something that is key.
Yeah. Yeah, it is key, and even I mean to this day we talk about it.
Hmm.
I look for mentorship and guidance too, and it's
Hmm.
something that's very integral to almost who we became
Yeah.
as professionals, right?
Hmm.
It really molded our careers at the University of
Exactly.
Iowa and beyond.
Hmm.
Being a first generation student, what is one thing that you wish you would have known, or what is one advice you want to give to other first generation students um, going into college?
You only regret the things that you didn't take a chance on. So like try everything, like see what you like, what you don't like, but don't miss opportunities because you were too scared to try to see if you could do them. Like I at the University of Iowa, there's a countless things that I wish I would have gotten involved in my freshman and sophomore year that I didn't do because I was scared. I was intimidated. I was maybe these people won't like me. I don't want to go to this organization meeting because what if it's not welcoming? Like I'm only a freshman. What if they only want juniors to join? Just different things that I internalized and I felt like I was just experiencing like imposter syndrome, just didn't think I was good enough. So I think that looking back now, if I could redo like if I had a time machine and I could redo my college
Mm-hmm,
experience,
mm-hmm.
I wish I would have taken more chances because ultimately I only regret the chances I didn't take. And I think it also helps to build a sense of community because there's like a lot of people that are probably encountering similar things that you're feeling and they just don't vocalize it and then you don't vocalize it. So it's something that stays like as an individual, but that's something that as a collective community, you're able to like help each other, you know, and help build that support system and move forward together because I think that's something that's important of like the Latinx community is that like we strive to be like a family, you know, so you look out for each other and try to support each other as much as you can. So I think that whenever you do decide to go to a university, a college, whatever it is you decide to do, making sure that you find that community.
What does being a Latinx Iowan mean to you?
I think it means a lot of things. I feel like I've kind of like touched a little bit about this like throughout this interview, but I think for the most part is just family, like feeling that sense of support, community, mentorship, and just helping other people excel in ways that like other people helped me excel. So just making sure that like I have done what I've done because of the generation that came before me, like my parents' sacrifices and just things like that. But I want to help pave the way for other students that will come after me. And I want to make sure that things are a lot more accessible to them. There was a lot of barriers that I encountered that I don't hope for them to happen to anybody else. Like I want to make sure that I'm able to like clear those pathways out for them so those barriers aren't as difficult as they
Yeah.
may have been for me. And if any of you are interested in coming to Western Iowa Tech, our TRIO Student Support Services program would love to take you in as one of our students. And even if you decide to go somewhere else to a different institution, we have experience working with like having you do your application or anything like that. And we can also assist you with any of those questions you might have for other universities too.
Yeah, no, amazing resources, and we're going to definitely work with True Student Support
Hmm.
Services here for sure. But thank you so much again for joining me.
You're welcome.